Hi, good evening. This is Kenya Rockman, author and founder of the Child Support Hustle. I hope everybody's doing well this evening. Um, I'm doing okay out here in Texas. Thanks for joining me. If you can, click the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. And just like the title says, I'm going to talk about one example. And really, I started off with I had several examples, but I couldn't get past the violation to the Eighth Amendment. So that's what this video is about. So I'm gonna end up doing two, probably I'm thinking two more videos about other constitutional violations within the child support system. But as it stands, this is about the Constitution to the Eighth Amendment. And the reason I'm doing this is because I always, even since I've been advocating, always get messages or comments, why do you think this system is unconstitutional? Because there's so many people that are fans of this system. And I just wrote an article and I'm asking like, why do y'all support this system so tough when y'all know that there's so much material and information out here that says and proves that this system is detrimental to children and to parents and to families as a whole. And people go hard for it. So the latest questions I'm getting is why is it unconstitutional? So I'm revisiting this again. I wrote an article or a blog, I should say, and I went back and looked at it today. Like that's real short, you know. So I said I'm gonna just do a video. So we're gonna start with the Eighth Amendment, which states that excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishments inflicted. Now we're going to explore that. Like I said, I didn't even get past that because there's so many violations in just that alone when it comes to the system. Okay, so since the child support system punishes parents that are mostly low income, to the fullest extent of the law, nearly every enforcement practice constitutes cruel and unusual punishment. How do we know that most parents who are punished are low income? Because the statistics tell us that. There are numerous studies and reports by several organizations, the government, institutions. It's been researched to death. And the low income parents are the ones that's mostly punished by the system. According to the Federal Office of Child Support Enforcement, most arrears are owed by parents who already owe substantial amounts of arrears to begin with. When they go into the system, they already in arrears. They have little or no income and have owed arrears for some time. So this is a backup over a backup. Most of the time, the substantial arrears are caused by child support amounts determined by imputed income, which as of 2016, they should not be using imputed income when calculating child support orders. Child support orders are being calculated from the child's date of birth, which means that parents start off indebted to the system from day one. When they come into contact or have a relationship when the order is established, they're start off 10, 20, $30,000 in debt because they go back to the birth of the child. Because the case starts off in arrears and the interest is charged, it's immediately considered past due. So they start charging late fees, interest, and all that kind of stuff. So by enforcing these punishments, such as income withholding, if a parent happens to be working, remember these are low income parents with little or no income to begin with. So if they happen to be working, their income is withheld. They levy financial accounts if the parent is fortunate enough to be able to have money to put into an account. They intercept state and federal income tax refunds, which we know, and since the stimulus money has been distributed, we know that they are offsetting even that money that's supposed to help, with the financial crisis that a lot of Americans, a lot of people are going through because of this pandemic. They withhold other one-time recurring federal payments such as retirement, salary, payments to vendors, contractors, and other federal payments. Now, keep in mind that if the child support is owed to the government, the children will be the last to receive a dime of that money. If there's any left after everybody gets their piece, the children aren't even getting it. They deny passports, often without proper notification. telling parents that they're going to be denied their passport, which is essentially holding people hostage or keeping people prisoner within the United States boundaries, the territory. You can't even leave. That's cruel and unusual to me, but I'm gonna get deeper into it. They suspend driver's licenses, drivers, occupational, recreational. Now I want to break this down as far as the cruel and unusual that this particular enforcement uh, executes on parents. Okay, so if a parent can't afford to pay their child support and their license is suspended, the driver's license, they need that license for transportation to get back and forth to work, or sometimes to work, period. If they're, sometimes a type of driver, a bus driver, any kind of driver, a truck driver, now they can't drive. Now the ability to earn money through employment is eliminated. If they can't get to work, they can't pay child support. If they drive illegally to get to work and get stopped, they risk more tickets, more debt, and or jail, which is more money. If they need their license to practice their professional field, your barbers, your doctors, your lawyers, and their license is suspended, they can't work. I mean, they can go get another job at maybe a fast food restaurant or something like that, but they set these child support orders based on what you are earning. So if you aren't making that, or say you go broke paying the child support that they say that you're supposed to be paying based on your income, and your license is snatched, then you have to go get a lower paying job. You're going to end up in debt. Now you can't work or pay the support. The debt continues to accumulate, and now they have a possibility of being locked up for failure to pay. If you're already poor, but you have to and this does happen, and you have to, if you already can't afford to eat, you're not working, then you have somewhere where you can go fish for your food, or a forest where you can go hunt for your food, free of charge. They'll fine you because your license is suspended, so you're fined for that. So that's more debt that you can't pay. And they're also saying essentially you can't feed yourself. That's cruel and unusual. They're taking away your ability to even make money. So that's in its own right, it's cruel and unusual. There's really no need to go on, but since we're here, they set liens on property. They report child support debts to credit bureaus. Again, credit is absolutely essential in this day and age. It's a lot how people move around. Not everybody, but a lot of people, this is how we live. Can people live without good credit? Sure. It's difficult, but it can happen. But when somebody's already struggling, the struggle's even harder because of child support debt that's probably owed to the government to recover welfare, which we all know is a loan, as a grant and not a loan. So it's a fake debt. So according to creditninja.com, a negative credit score can mean higher annual percentage rates on any loans you have, higher insurance premiums, and higher costs of financing for anything, your car, anything. Phone companies may not extend your contract. Everybody communicates through a cell phone, so you might not even be able to get that because of this bad mark on your credit score. Finding a job opportunity may be affected by bad credit. Finding a place to live may be more expensive if you can get a place to live at all, because they all do credit checks. Most of them do a credit check. Low limit credit lines. If you need credit, say you get sick or something and you need a credit card to pay a doctor's bill, you're going to get a chance of a lower limit in of a credit line. CNBC adds a few more negative effects. You'll have a harder time with utilities, including the internet. That's how everybody moves around. So you got a harder time putting utilities in your name, basic needs. And you'll delay building wealth or even retiring. You can't even retire on time with child support debt on your credit and still paying support. So you have what do you call it? It affects your, I'm thinking of the word I'm using, your, it's going to come back to me. It's not on here. So your quality of life by this child support debt that is really a fake debt. You can't, okay, let's move on to the excess bail and fines part of the violation to the 8th Amendment. Don't forget, guys, click the like button, subscribe if you haven't, and don't forget, tell a friend to tell a friend about the child support hustle. Okay, so there are 2 reasons that a parent can be locked up for owing child support debt. That's what it's supposed to be. On one hand, there's a civil contempt of court. Civil contempt as an incentive to convince the parent to pay the child support debt or to comply with the child support order. The National Conference of State Legislatures states that incarceration is not intended to punish the defendant. Rather, it is intended to prompt compliance with the court order. But what if the parent cannot afford to pay to buy his or her freedom? Civil contempt certainly stops being fun then and certainly becomes a means of punishment for the defendant, the parent. I want to give an instance. When they say it's only supposed to force a parent to pay, but if you can't pay, then it's still a punishment. So I want to talk about a case from November 17th, 2017. It involved a father named Thomas Duheny, Doheny. I have it spelled wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's how you spell his name. I have the link to the article in the description, from Cary, Illinois. This is according to an article by Jeff Dempsey of The Patch. This is going to throw me off. I don't want to say his name wrong, so give me 1 second, and I'm going to make sure I have his name correct. I don't want to. Hold on 1 second. Because thanks for your patience. I think it's Duheny. Let me see. Duheny, Doheny. Sorry about that. So Mr. Duheny had been held at the jail on November 1st, 2017. He was arrested for contempt of court. He was in court dealing with the divorce filed against him in 2014. He was formerly quite wealthy, according to the sources, and was working to have his monthly child support and alimony payments reduced. Child support was $7,700 a month, and maintenance was $11,500. He was paying that for 16 years. The judge, I don't know what maybe they meant 6 years. So the judge, according to his source, failed to consider the information provided by the father and made it impossible for him to afford child support. He had been fired as a result of having to make 260 court appearances in the past 2 years trying to obtain a downward modification. They always talk about you can go get a downward modification if your child support is too high. It's almost impossible to even get somebody to call you back. When they do, they can deny you. It's up to the caseworker, or in this case, the judge. And then when they deny, you're still on the hook for all the other child support that was accumulated while you were waiting for the downward modification. So a downward modification is just a kick the can down the road. It's not a solution. Okay, so the McHenry County Sheriff's Office found Mr. Duheny dead in his single cell occupancy jail cell on 8/10 on the 17th of November from suicide. So if he didn't have the money to pay the extortion disguised as child support, he should have never been held in contempt. That entire scenario sounds like punishment to me. How about you? They'll sit and say what it's supposed to be and what it's not supposed to be, and they do the complete opposite. That is a problem, and that is unconstitutional. So then we have criminal non-support. I'm going to add a link that has a description of the sentences per state, what the statute is. I think I put the title up, so you can go and check everything out, because I'm not going to go through every one of them. but I'm gonna talk about a few of the most egregious ones. Okay, so the National Conference of State Legislators states that parents have a legal obligation to provide support for their children, and failure to provide such support is considered a crime against the state, not the child. Failing to provide for your child is not a crime against the child, it's a crime against the state, generally known as criminal support. That's another violation, real quick, because if they'll hold one parent criminally accountable for paying support for a child, why isn't the other parent held criminally accountable for support? If one parent is forced to pay $500 per month, there should be proof that the other parent is paying $500 per month, just like the other parent. And I'm not including rent, utilities, things that a parent would have to, a person, an adult would have to pay for on their own. You're going to pay for an extra bedroom for your child. But if I'm a non-custodial parent and I'm spending $1,000 a month, and that's considered criminal. If I don't, then the other parent needs to be held accountable. If not, that's a violation of equal protections. I'm gonna get into that on my next video, because like I said, I didn't even get finished going through, because I like the video short, short, sweet, to the point. So I didn't want to just jump around, because this was just too much. So there's no jurisdiction that doesn't have some sort of statute on the books for failure to pay support. That'll land you in jail. The crime ranges from misdemeanor with no class to Class E felonies. So if a parent can't afford child support or child support debt, they're being charged with a felony. Convicted felons lose all kinds of rights. Convicted felonies, that having a felony on your record is no joke. So if you can't afford to pay, meaning you're too poor, you're low income, whatever your situation, and you can't pay this fake debt that they just put around your neck, now you're a felon. So it was already difficult for you to get a job because they messed up your credit, they took your license, they did all that. Now they threw you in jail, put you a felony on your record. Now what do you expect? What do they expect you to do? So as a convicted felon, in most jurisdictions, and this is based on an article by Legal Beagle, you cannot vote, you cannot hold public office, you cannot bear arms. I don't even understand how come there's not people that are more gun rights activists, or the Second Amendment enthusiasts, if you will, that don't have a problem with a person not being able to protect their home and their person because they have a child support warrant or a charge on them. You can't even bear arms in some states. And let me say, this is in some states. Everything, it varies, but these are the what can happen as a convicted felon. You can't travel abroad, which they already locked that up. You can't receive any public social benefits with a felony. You can't move to another state with a felony. And of course, it's extremely difficult for convicted felons to obtain employment and housing. So you just basically a second-class citizen after being a second-class citizen. That's cruel and unusual. You can't function. You cannot function in this system. They put you in this system and you can't make those payments. You can't do anything. So on to the sentences and fines. This is ridiculous. Some states with lower fines and shorter sentences include Delaware, which is 6 months, 6 months too long, if you ask me, up to 2 years and up to $2,300 in fines. If you can't afford to pay, y'all know. So no jail time in Florida for criminal charges, but the fines range from $1,000 to $5,000. And keep in mind, to be convicted, they have to prove that you willfully failed to pay, meaning you had the means to pay, but you just refused to. In Nebraska, the sentences is 6 months and a $1,000 fine. Some states will charge both misdemeanors and felonies, but some states only charge felonies. They skip it. They go straight to jail, go straight with your felony. We're going to screw your whole life up. That's Colorado. Idaho, the fine is $500, but they're giving out 14 years. There's people that have murdered people that don't do 14 damn years. Kansas, no jail time, but the fine is $100,000. Excessive? So Massachusetts, Michigan, New Mexico, North Dakota, Oklahoma, Texas, straight felons. And don't forget, I put the link of the sentencing penalties in the description so you can go back and look if you're looking for your particular state. So I wanted to discuss Mississippi in particular. They only charge felons, go straight to, you're a straight felon. If you, the first offense is up to 5 years and a fine of $100 to $500. The second and any other offenses is $1,000 to $10,000 fine and up to 2 to 5 years in prison, but you're a felon. But I want to go over the statistics of Mississippi because Mississippi is the poorest state in the country. Yet they are charging felonies for people that can't afford to pay child support. Child poverty in 2019 nationally was 17%. In Mississippi, 28%. 19.6% of the population lives in poverty. The median household income is $19,200. Now, I'm not bagging on Mississippi. I'm just, how can you guys charge somebody with a felony when the it's poor there? And we know that most people on child support that owe the most debt are low income parents. We know that. So in order to receive the TANF or welfare benefit, which is a payment of $170 for a parent and 2 children, of course, the custodial parent must sue for child support. That's in every jurisdiction. But this will be increasing by, guess what, guys? $90 per month per family, not per child, per family. So they're going to give you an extra $90 for your signature to sign your rights over to that child support. Speaking of which, Mississippi doesn't pay or pass through any child support received, collected on behalf of the families that receive TANF. So they keep that now. It's up to the state on whether they want to pass through the child support collected or not. Now we know that the children are living in 28% are living in poverty. You would think that the state would want to pass through, here's a little extra, since we charging your parents with a felony and, sending them upstate or whatever and messing up their record. So at least we can do is give you the child support that they are able to pay. Oh no, they don't do that. In 2019, it was $474 million owed in current support, and it was $1.6 billion in arrears. Do the math. That does not add up. Y'all child support lovers that think this system is constitutional. How does current support not even equal $500 million, but arrears are over $1 billion, almost 1.7? That was usury or something like that. If these parents even signed a contract, it's still usury. You're charging too much. So the TANF arrears, which you guys know I'm trying to get erased. I had a petition on the Child Support Hustle website. I'm going to lobby the government, this administration, erase child support debt that's owed to the government. It's got to go. That money will never reach the children. So you can find a petition, thechildsupporthustle.com. So the TANF arrears were $48 million versus the $1.4 billion in non-TANF arrears. This is not unusual because when a parent assigns their rights over to the state, when taxes are offset, the government is paid first. When they take the stimulus money, the government is going to be paid first. Everybody else is going to be paid first. If there's any money left, it'll come to the family. But that state is going to try everything in their power to charge and charge and charge and keep charging until there's not a dime left to go to the children that they love so much. But don't forget, criminal, they're going for the state. It's the best interest of the state, not the children. Mississippi makes a return on investment of $8.08 for every $1 that's spent on that program. Yet child poverty is 11% higher than the national average. They make $8.08, but they're the poorest state in the country. They're robbing people. The child support hustle is real. I'm gonna keep saying in the back of my book everything they don't want you to know about the corrupt child support system. And I'm gonna keep saying it. I'm gonna keep talking about it till everybody knows about it. So that's Mississippi is a perfect example, in my opinion, of how the child support system is imposing excessive bail and cruel and unusual punishment, not only on parents, but the children as well. Again, I mentioned the petition. Please go and sign it. I want to present it when we get enough signatures. I was very, ambitious when I first talked about the petition. I wanted 100,000 in like 30 days. We are nowhere near that. I know people are, interested in it. There's some people saying petitions don't work. Some people saying, yeah, I'm gonna sign, I'm gonna share it. Please do, please sign, please share. We have to start somewhere. If we have 1,000 or 100,000 signatures and send it to Joe Biden or whoever reads his mail and say, look, this is really hurting parents out here. So, and children. So we need to do something about this $24 billion worth of debt owed to the government. It's not benefiting the children. It definitely doesn't benefit the parents. We want to also start paying close attention to this new child tax credit that they are pushing. They're trying to make it permanent. So when and if these are made permanent, we need them to end the child support cooperation mandate for custodial parents when they apply for public benefits, to make one low-income parent sue another low-income parent for child support. And it's hell. I'm talking about you cannot just go once you leave welfare and go and get your rights to your child support back. That's what I thought. I said, I don't want the system no more. I want to, close this case. I'm not on the system. I want my rights back. When I found out what the contract was, or what, to cooperate, when I found out what was going on in the child support hustle, I said, take me off of that. I'm not there anymore. I don't even live there. That took me 8 years of fighting with them people to get that case closed, my case. So it's not that easy it's easy to sign up for it. It's easy to be put into the system. It's hard to get out of. So that's what I'm saying. Y'all don't sign nothing. Y'all go to court, y'all get sued, whatever. I need to take a second to read all of this. I'm not doing nothing. Don't sign your name on anything. And custodial parents, when they want you, when you in hard times, difficult times, and they saying, oh, if you want SNAP, oh, you want child care, you got to sue for child support, go and look at the laws or the statutes of that state, because a lot of states don't make you sue for SNAP benefits. A lot of states don't make you sue for child support for child care. TANF and Medicaid, they're mandated, but the other benefits, they are not mandated in every state. So go and look it up, because you sign your name on that dotted line, that's it. And then you just stuck, unless you got some time to fight. But I hope everybody got the time to fight, because your life depends on it and your children's life depends on it. Financially, emotionally, everything. The system is bad. So that is increasing, forcing parents to assign their rights and sue the other parent is increasing child poverty and parents living in poverty as well. It was bad policy when Clinton passed it, along with bipartisan support. Everybody blamed it on Clinton, but trust me, this was a group effort. A legislation this big and a program this huge does not get passed, especially not 20 years ago, under one party. That's not that. Republicans and Democrats was in on this scam. Okay. So like I said, I'll be doing at least one more, or probably 2 more videos about the other unconstitutional or constitutional violations that the child support machine violates. every second it's in operation. Parents have died, committed suicide, or just, went homeless. They just didn't have anything else. There was nothing else to give. Dead broke, they put that out there, but really dead beat. That's what they kept pushing, brainwashing people. But really, parents was dead broke. And now with the pandemic, there's nothing else to give. People still have to eat. People still have to put a roof over their head. People still have to provide their basic needs. So that's just one. I mean, I was so upset writing this when I was doing my notes. I had to get up and walk and come back, and it happens every time I like write something or I get into, it just upsets me so bad because we have these people in charge. They beg for our vote every vote and election, every season and everything like that. And they get in and pass bullshit laws that do not help the people that need the most help. So start paying attention to this child care tax, the child tax allowance. And if you can, start emailing, tweeting, all that. Follow me on Twitter at CS Hustle, the number one, and the number one at CS Hustle, the number one, or on Instagram at KN or NK. No, yeah, KN or NK. We need to start reaching out to these politicians and tell them we need to get the mandated child support cooperation that's in for people that need TANF and public benefits. We need that erased. We need that out. We need it out. It has to go. It's so damaging. So stay tuned. Make sure your notifications are on. Make sure you type in the screen. Make sure you turn your notifications on. I'm gonna look in the chat in just a minute. Like the page, like the video if it helped you out, if you thought it was informative or whatever. Just give me a click like, and subscribe to the channel. Tell a friend, sign a petition. Soon as we can travel like freely or whatever, if you organize a town hall, if you organize a march, a protest, or whatever you want to call it, you let me know. Thanks for the likes, guys, and I will pull up and we can, get some stuff, because I want everybody to know about this, and then we'll see how much they love it after they know what's really going on. Okay, let me see. Mode of people, some people reaching from. Yeah, that's true. But some people, I'm still finding out that even with all the information out here, some people just don't know. They really, really, really are convinced that the child support system is for the children. And so in some cases, that's probably like working just fine. Sometimes you need that mediator, but that's not what the whole system. It's a welfare recovery program. And slowly, because they're kicking everybody off of welfare with all the criteria that you have to qualify for it, now they're switching it over to people that's not on welfare. Well, that's a whole different, that's a game changer, because it's mandated to participate if you're on welfare, receive welfare benefits. If you're not, and I'm talking about unmarried parents, not so much divorce, because that's a whole different, you have contracts and splitting up property and things like that. But unmarried parents, if you're sitting up there and you're paying, taking care of your child and everything like that, they're basically, when they sue you, they're suing you saying that you're not doing that. You're not providing. You've abandoned your child. If no welfare is involved, you don't have to participate in that system. If you are taking care of your child, don't pay cash. You pay check, money order, PayPal, however you want to pay the money, and make sure in the memo you put child support. They take you to court. It's up to them to prove that they're suing you. They have the burden of proof to show that you abandon your child. You don't pay support for your child. If you had the receipts to show that, and I know people are going to say, no, that's not true. That's not true. I know some people that have done that, and they are not on child support. Clayton Craddock, he did an interview with me. He's one person for sure. So know your rights. Like I said, get sources, references. This stuff, I know they bury it so deep, and that's why I want to come here and just kind of break the stuff down and tell you, go here, go there, because there's nothing they can say when you say, well, I don't have to do this because of that, and it says it right here. Then what are they going to say? Some of these caseworkers at the child support system don't even know the guidelines. You have to point it out to them and make them go do their job. So let me see. Oh, yes, all corrupted. I know some rules in pretty much every state, just because of my research and working with parents over the years. You're welcome, Jamie. Thanks for tuning in. I'm sure you like, so thank you. So if I don't know, like I said, I don't work on individual cases anymore. Time is not allowing me to do that. And it's very time consuming. I don't have forms or anything. I have mass produced. I work on individual cases because this is an individual situation. Everybody's case is different. And I don't have the time to put 100% into an individual case. And that's why I started making these videos and kind of switching gears so I can give more information and help more people than just individuals. It takes a lot of time. Can you reset child support? Reset child support. I'm not sure what you mean by that, LeStrong. Reset child support. I don't get that question. I've never been asked that before. What can you explain what you mean? So don't forget, guys, and thank you already if you purchased my book. Thank you so much. I hope you're getting some information that you need out of there. It's available on my website, thechildsupporthustle.com. I also have articles on there that you can go and I have everything is researched, so there's sources and everything. So if you see something that is about your case, or I'm trying to think of the words, then go down to the references, because I'm gonna put sources in there so you can go and look it up, and it'll take you more into what I'm talking about. That might be able to help you more with your case. Yeah, that's fine. Armageddon. And paying child support. Okay, and you saying reset? I don't get the how you want to reset child support. You can get a modification if your child support, if your situation has changed, your circumstances has changed. You can file for a modification, a downward modification, and that the change varies by state. It like 15% to 30%. It depends on the state. You can get a t-shirt. I'm looking for a t-shirt company because these grays, I've been waiting for them a certain size and they are not coming in. The company is not responding. So if you make t-shirts and you make them the bomb, I need some. I still have the black ones. I have the gray ones in certain sizes, just not extra large. So yeah, if you make t-shirts, please hit me up, cshustle1@gmail.com. You can also get a mask. Hopefully mask will be a thing of the past very soon. I know I'm sick of them, but you know. Based on my research, I'm not too privy with custody issues, and that's why I support 50-50 shared parenting, zero child support, in cases where if there's no like abuse or violence or anything like that. But that just makes sense. If their parents are sharing custody, there should be no child support. A great resource that I use is National Parents Organization. They have that's what they do, is custody issues. So just check them out. You can, National Parents Organization, you can Google them. They have a ton of information on custody, but I don't know about signing contracts in exchange for. I'm just not sure about that. So yeah, check them out. Yeah, Lestrong, these child support, I mean, they're one side, it's unconstitutional. And when people ask me, well, why you say it's, I said, you know what, I'm just gonna make a video. I have been talking about this forever, and I'm not the only one. There's several people have pointed out several things, but the cruel and unusual punishment and the fines, the excessive fines, and man, that's it right there. Throw the whole system away. So, yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. I think I answered everybody. So, don't forget, I'm gonna be on turn your notifications on so you can get my next tune into my next video, share and share some more. This was longer than I usually be on, but this stuff is crazy. So, all right. Remember, they can ignore hundreds, they can ignore thousands, but they cannot ignore millions. Let's